This is Wakila, y'all. Now, she was a detention officer at Fulton County Jail until they just arrested her today. Okay. Now, yes, Fulton County Jail, we are back there. Everything just keeps coming out. She has been falsifying timesheets allegedly. Her salary is $50,000, but due to the alleged fraud, she made over $130,000 in the past year. She also allegedly forged a sergeant's name on her overtime sheet. And now, y'all, she can't even make bail, so she's
And
still
Justin,
locked
more on that
up.
in a moment, but I want to tell you, we came out here to the jail this afternoon, and we've really been out here all day waiting for this former detention officer to bond out. We wanted to get her side of the story, but according to jail records, at this hour, she remains behind bars. But as you mentioned, Sheriff Pat Labat, he has been outspoken, obviously getting better pay, benefits, overtime for his men and women. And during that time, he conducted an internal audit, and it was at that point that they realized that this former detention officer had received nearly 2 times her entire salary just in overtime alone.
It's physically impossible for someone to work those kinds of hours.
That's how Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labat responded after I asked him about the stunning allegations against his now former detention officer seen here in this mugshot. On Wednesday, Wankila Anthony waived her first court appearance, but newly released court documents accuse the 33-year-old of submitting fraudulent timesheets that investigators say allowed her to collect tens of thousands of dollars in overtime pay for work she never completed.
It looks like in excess of $130,000 off of a base salary that is $50,000 that this particular young lady had falsified documents, forged those documents, and in fact was still in time.
Sheriff Labat says this criminal investigation began last month after his office launched an internal audit looking specifically at which employees were earning the most overtime pay. Investigators say Anthony topped that list. In fact, according to the arrest affidavit, an official in HR contacted her to inquire about the name of the sergeant who had signed the time adjustment sheet. But the sergeant denied signing her timesheets, telling the investigators that he had not worked with her since 2021. Now, court documents also show the sergeant signed a blank timesheet and compared the signatures, which appeared different. We've also learned investigators spoke with multiple officials, including a second sergeant who gave this account about Anthony. She frequently calls out, saying her husband is sick and has to have surgery. Now, the sergeant also says she took a vacation day last month, but when they checked her timesheet, she claimed to have worked 17 hours that day.
This is not representative of the hundreds of women and men that work for the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. This, I believe, is an